a single Scottish surname can unlock a forgotten territorial war. Most genealogists stop at the spelling, but the real clue is buried in the anglicized corruption that saved your ancestors from the 1746 bans. Today, we decode the linguistic traps, territorial codes, and survival aliases hidden inside 14 names. But why did the British government force these changes, and how does that historical erasure actually preserve your exact bloodline? The answer lies not in DNA tests, but in the original territorial deeds, church records, and the brutal politics of the 1700s. We start with a name that almost disappeared. The Campbells dominate Western Scottish history, controlling Argyll while surviving the Glencoe massacre. If your name is Campbell, or variants like Mac-Alle, your lineage likely ties to the Western Corridor. But here's the pivot. Several unrelated families borrowed the name after 1845 to escape famine, hiding behind a powerful shield. We'll separate the original territorial holders from the later adopters, revealing how a single name became a political passport. This raises the next question. How did a northern name survive when entire clans were wiped out? The answer lies in the salt trade. Mackenzie traces to Mac Aenghusa, son of Angus, but local legend claims a Norse merger funded their rise to Strathnaver. Historians debate whether their territorial claim was earned through salt trade or royal decree. This linguistic split rewires how we map northern bloodlines. But the real twist isn't the origin, it's the name's survival strategy. When the clearances came, Mackenzie families used their coastal roots to finance exile. Yet another name on this list didn't flee, it weaponized bureaucracy. The next surname reveals how lowland merchants outlasted Highland warriors. The Murrays built a lowland empire of commerce, law, and royal favor, rooted in Tullibardine and Atholl. Their survival wasn't about swords, it was about quiet alliances during the Jacobite risings. If your family carries this name, you likely descend from lineage that mastered political compromise. But here's what most genealogists miss. Murrays actively absorbed rival branches to prevent estate fragmentation. This merger strategy created a hidden network that stretches across 3 centuries. Yet not all Highland names were forged in politics. Some were forged in water. Fraser is a Norman import, not a river marker. The name originally designated administrators near Borey Priory, not the Spey Valley. Yet local legend insists the clan chose the river's name to claim monastic protection. This administrative disguise allowed them to navigate the Jacobite purges while others burned. But there's a catch. Fraser allegiance shifted repeatedly based on which crown held power. This fluid loyalty kept their estates intact. Still, political maneuvering isn't the only survival tactic. Some families survived by vanishing into the landscape. The Douglases controlled vast territories between the borders and the lowlands, surviving royal betrayals through strategic imprisonment and quiet restoration. Most modern bearers descend from the Grey Line, which survived by retreating to Nithsdale and focusing on legal administration. This shift from sword to statute book explains why your name appears in merchant records rather than battle scrolls. But here's the open loop. How did a royal steward's surname become the most distributed in Scotland? The answer separates bloodline from bureaucracy. Stewart or Stuart traces directly to the royal house, but not every bearer descended from kings. Many were land stewards appointed to manage estates for distant nobles, eventually adopting the office as their permanent name. This distinction matters because it separates royal bloodlines from administrative lineages that rose through property management rather than birthright. If your family carries this name, your ancestors likely worked in estate records, tax rolls, and boundary disputes. Yet ownership isn't the only marker of Highland power. Some names were tied to the sea. MacDonald dominates the Western Isles, carrying the weight of the Lord of the Isles and his vast maritime network. Your surname points to a lineage that controlled shipping lanes, managed raiding parties, and negotiated with English merchants. The territorial anchor marks those near Dunaverty and Dunstaffnage. When the clan fractured after 1493, branches scattered across Ireland and the Highlands, carrying the name as both a badge of honor. This split explains why your family history likely crosses the Irish Sea. But geographical displacement isn't the only reason Highland names changed. Cameron is inextricably linked to Loch Awe and Eilean Donan. Your ancestors were likely bound to deep glens where isolation bred fierce independence. The name survived border raids because it was tied to specific grazing lands and monastic protection agreements. Yet here's the pivot. Several unrelated families adopted the name during the 1700s to access land grants, effectively hiding their true origins behind a recognized territorial banner. This migration wave quietly expanded your bloodline's geographic range, but not all Highland strongholds were built on lochs. Some were built on northern moors. Mackay commands the rugged terrain of Sutherland and Caithness, where survival meant navigating harsh winters and English encroachment. Your surname suggests roots in a lineage that managed remote trading posts and negotiated with Danish settlers before full integration. The territorial marker points to the Great Moors of Ree. When the clearances began, many Mackays quietly abandoned ancestral lands, carrying the name to Nova Scotia and beyond. This displacement explains why your family records likely crossed the Atlantic. Yet crossing the ocean isn't the only way names survived. Some endured by staying put and adapting. Keith is one of the oldest Lowland names, originally tied to land stewardship and royal administration in Fife and the Borders. Your bloodline descends from families who managed royal forests, collected taxes, and maintained boundary markers. The territorial anchor points to Kinloss and Inverugie. When the Jacobite risings threatened stability, Keith families secured land patents, transforming administrative roles into hereditary wealth. This shift from royal servant to landed gentry explains why your name appears in legal archives. But not all Lowland survival relied on property. Some relied on court favor. Hamilton traces its roots to Lowland nobility, specifically Douglas and Lennox estates. Your surname suggests a lineage that navigated royal courts, secured land patents, and survived political purges by mastering quiet loyalty. The territorial marker designates those near royal hunting grounds. When the Reformation reshaped property ownership, Hamilton families acquired former monastic lands, transforming spiritual wealth into secular power. This strategic acquisition explains why your family records likely span centuries of legal documentation. Yet acquisition isn't the only Highland survival story. Some names were forged in northeastern valleys. Gordon dominates the northeastern Highlands, tied to Huntley estates and strategic river valley control. Your surname points to a lineage that managed trade routes, negotiated with English merchants, and survived the turbulent 1600s by balancing royal favor with territorial independence. The territorial anchor marks those near Haddo and Strathbogie. When the clearances reshaped the landscape, Gordon families diversified into commerce and law, ensuring their name survived in merchant ledgers and property records. But not all Highland names stayed on British soil. The final surname on this list bridges two continents. MacLeod carries the weight of the Hebrides, tied to Skye's rugged terrain and strategic maritime routes. Your surname suggests a lineage that navigated clan feuds, English naval blockades, and the brutal clearances. The territorial marker points to Dunvegan and Lochalsh. When the clan fractured, branches scattered across the Atlantic, carrying the name as both a badge of honor. This displacement explains why your family history likely crosses the ocean to new worlds. If you recognize your ancestral territory in these records, tell me which name bridges your family to the Highlands. We'll map the next layer together.